This episode has been brought to you by FlowState, the unlimited Webflow development service. Find out more at flowstate.dev. I've been creating Webflow content for about 4 or 5 years now. I started in 2020 when we're all under house arrest basically for the big beer flu. And since then, I have almost on a weekly basis been creating Webflow content. I discovered Webflow probably in about 2019, 2018, something like that. It was sort of an up and coming tool, no-code tool where you're able to create websites. It was very, very exciting, very, very interesting. And I think one of the most interesting aspects of Webflow at that point was offering the complete package of hosting, CMS, and website design capabilities without you having to kind of worry about that. It's now pretty ubiquitous throughout the industry. It's growing in popularity. Really exciting to see how they've evolved and how they've sparked a wave of amazing no-code tools that compete against each other and are doing some really, really great things. And then came to a point in probably 2022, I don't know. I released a video saying that I am done with Webflow. And this articulated my frustrations basically around the ongoing promise that Webflow gave on a now deleted blog post saying about their commitment to accessibility. They kind of fell short on that promise. They never really spoke about it. They said they were going to hire someone. They didn't really do anything. And quite frankly, yeah, to this day, they haven't really made it a more accessible platform. They've made the tooling more accessible to you, the designers, but the output code, more specifically the JavaScript and the interactions aspect, has had no improvements to accessibility whatsoever. Now, in a sentence, I'll put this in there. If a website is somewhat interactive and things are happening on button clicks and various things like that, what you often do with interactions, you need to give accessibility users prompts to let them know what just happened, and you do that with ARIA roles. And I just think there could be a bit more education on that and whatever. So with that being said, I pretty much quit Webflow. To this day, it's probably one of my most well-performing videos. I guess people want to know what the downfalls are and make their own mind up. So I leave that video up there, even though a short while later, I sort of put down my personal gripes and got back to Webflow. Truthfully, I don't use Webflow an awful lot. It's just one of many tools in my tool belt. And that's kind of the point in this video, that in my career, I owe my particular unique skill set of creativity and technical ability to my ongoing curiosity and enjoyment for many, many different tools, many different disciplines, many different art forms, applying that knowledge in one area and taking it into other areas and kind of cross-pollinating. I was never sold on this idea that any one thing is the thing to do. So with that, over the last few months, I've really been digging into the world of no code, and I've discovered some fantastic tools which I've developed some fantastic relationships with the people who build those tools. I just think I'm in a really nice point in my life where I'm just able to be respected for my opinion, not only for websites in general, because I've been making websites for nearly 20 years now, which is crazy. Also in the no-code category, which is a really cutting edge, progressive way to make websites. So it's really nice to be able to sit in both those camps. So with that, my channel, which started out as Webflow and Code, then I changed it into the Full Stack Agency, and now it's kind of back to Webflow and Code. I sort of am the worst Webflow influencer. Like, I don't like that term. I don't feel comfortable with that term because I can't confirm or deny whether I influence anyone specifically. But the truth is, I am not necessarily committed to Webflow. I started the channel and saw it as an opportunity to educate designers who have no training, interest, or expertise in building websites, knowing full well that design is one very, very small part of the web development process, and educating those on the parts that they are just outright missing out, such as accessibility, such as SEO, semantic HTML structure, all of this stuff. Unless you really dig in, it doesn't really reveal itself or well articulate itself. So that's where my channel was born. And so that's where it's kind of grown. But as I've grown, realizing that there are limitations to Webflow. It is not the best tool for every single project. It's overkill, actually. I would say it's top tier no code for marketing websites. I'm not sold on it being a app or web app situations, just because you're pulling so many libraries and you're doing so much stuff. The flexibility is there, but the scalability is not there. And I'm not going to advocate that. But website builder, top notch, great. But there are great tools out there now. There's Framer, which is making it even more like Figma, more like a design tool that you can spin up a simple marketing website for a lot cheaper and a lot easier than Webflow. You've got Web Studio, which is what I've been exploring recently, which has been a really fun way to get to know that tool. Wix Studio is this kind of all-in-one kind of platform for everything, and again, a great tool that has back-end code functionality. So with all that being said, my message to you in this episode is to learn, discover, and experience as many different tools as you possibly can, and come to your conclusions on what you think it works better at, what you think is worse at, whether it works for you, and understand what your clients' needs are and whether a tool is more suitable for them rather than just something that you enjoy using. We live in an amazing world right now where we have a plethora of different no-code tools at our disposal, and they're available mostly for free for you to use and make up your own mind, as opposed to just going with what you know. Because I owe it to my career to have all of these different disciplines, all of these different understandings to get me to where I am today, and I just hope I can impart that enthusiasm onto you. So with that, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, happy no coding.